Mrs. Gamboa, you say you're fed up with your husband because he's repeatedly accused you of cheating, even with the babysitter.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you're here today to set things straight because you say his doubt about paternity has led to the emotional neglect of your one-year-old son, Dominic.
That's right, Your Honor.
Mr. Gamboa, you argue you'll be crushed if you find out Dominic is not your biological son today, but claim he does indeed look like your former babysitter.
Yes, Your Honor.
You say Mrs. Gamboa is lying about
Your Honor.
cheating. So, Ms. Gamboa, did you cheat on your husband with the babysitter?
No, Your Honor. The babysitter was in the bed at the time that Mr. Gamboa came home, but I did not cheat on him.
Oh, wait a minute. The babysitter was in the bed?
Yes, on top of the bed.
That's on the bed. Mr. Gamboa, you saw the babysitter on your bed?
I was at work, Your Honor, and I got a phone call because we're all living in the same house. My stepfather had called me saying that the babysitter was asleep in my room on the floor with the door shut with my wife in there.
The door wasn't shut, Your Honor.
She said he was on the bed.
Well, when I had got home that morning, he was on the bed.
The door wasn't shut, Your Honor. His stepfather doesn't like me to begin with, and Mr. Gamboa knew he was in the room, and he only slept on the floor. When he came home, I was not in the room when he came home. I was in the living room watching TV, and he came home, and our babysitter was sitting on the bed.
Well, I was working a graveyard shift, so I mean, she would be up by the time I'd be home, so how would I know if she was in the bed with the babysitter?
Because we've been together for so long, you should know that I wouldn't do that to you.
You're lying, stop.
So hold on. So you work in a graveyard shift all night?
Yes, and we have a 4-bedroom house, so I mean, the babysitter could have slept in the other room with his kids where they were at.
We had 8 kids in there. There were 8 children in the room. My 5, his 2, and my niece at the time.
Well, don't you think it would make sense for you to bring our kids into the bedroom where we sleep and let him sleep in the other room with his kids?
So you have a male babysitter, nothing wrong with that. However, Ms. Gamboa, I need you to elaborate a bit for the court. Why make that choice? Why is a male babysitter really in your room at all?
The thing happened was the male babysitter was his decision in the first place. It was a mutual friend of ours that he knew more than I did.
We had discussed. Doesn't mean that
he was not living with us at the time. He was not living with us at the time. And Mr. Gamboa offered him to stay with us because he was homeless with his 2 children.
No, we had both.
So you took in his children.
Right. And ever since then, it's been a living hell for me. I regret it. I regret it till this day. I tried to help a friend out, and I ended up paying for it with this.
So, Mr. Gamboa, you say point blank that you think this child, Dominic, looks like the babysitter.
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Your Honor, Dominic looks just like his father. He has the same dimple as our other son. That he looks just like him, and then he walks like him.
I mean, the babysitter walks like me too, and
no, he
look
doesn't.
at the back of his
The
head.
babysitter walks like you?
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does. And the back shape of his head too looks just like the babysitter's.
He looks just like his dad. He has the same bump in the back of his head. He has the same birthmark on the same arm as our other son. He has the same dimple on the same cheek as our other son.
I had severe mumps, a case of severe mumps at teenage age, which you could incur for infertility. And I was previously with my ex for about 5 years, and I could not conceive with her at all.
So you were under the impression that there was a very good chance that you could possibly have issues conceiving a child with a woman because of having...
He did not deny our first son and only Dominic. If that was the case, he shouldn't deny our only Dominic and not our first son.
Well, Your Honor, when we conceived our first son, we were all living with her ex. We're all living in one house, so I mean...
Right, and he knew about it.
All of you all were living in one house.
When we first got together, we were in high school or junior high sweethearts.
So if I couldn't conceive with my first wife, and then all of a sudden I conceived my first son, or I mean,
so you
why wouldn't there be doubts about Dominic, especially if the male babysitter's sleeping in the room with my wife?
But if that's the case, then there should be doubts about our first son because my ex was living in the home.
So let me ask you this. How has this doubt affected your connection with Dominic, Mr. Gamboa?
I mean,
have you bonded with the child?
No, I haven't.
You have not?
I have not bonded with a child. He's
a year-old, handsome young man.
He's mostly with his mom. He will not come to me. He cries. He throws a fit.
Your Honor, I brought videos of it. He doesn't bond with him. He doesn't do anything with him. And now, even now, like, he doesn't, he don't change the diaper, he don't pick him up, he don't do nothing.
At the time with our first son, I was always, I wasn't
just
working.
one moment. Let me first look at the pictures you've presented to the court.
That is Dominic at 1 year old, and that's Mr. Gamboa around 6 months old.
And you say Dominic, you see a striking resemblance.
I wasn't always home. I was always working 12, 15-hour shifts, working graveyard shifts. She was always having the babysitter
around. That doesn't mean I'm cheating on you. That doesn't mean I'm cheating on you. If you're working, you should trust your wife.
When somebody has
that doesn't mean that every guy who works graveyard, their wife is cheating on them.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell.
I mean, when somebody has a set of keys to your apartments and he's snapping photos saying that this is his house and wanting to...
But that's
the babysitter was doing that?
Yes.
Right. Your Honor, I strongly believe that our babysitter was trying to mess up our marriage. Because at the end of this whole situation, our babysitter, when we kicked him out, he had no place to go. He went to Mr. Gamboa, oh, you should leave her and let's get a house together. And then he would come to me behind his back and be like, oh, let's leave him. He's no good for you.
He was snapping photos
we should get a house together.
You all are the epitome of messy.
I found out on MySpace.
Okay, I want to get back to Dominic because ultimately I want to hear how this young child, this young innocent child has been affected because of this. You know, these are choices you all have made.
Your Honor, when I was in the hospital, when I gave birth to Dominic, Mr. Gamboa was there 13 hours throughout my pain, suffering, everything. He cut the umbilical cord, gave him a kiss, took pictures with him. 20 minutes after I gave birth to Dominic, he left, gave me a kiss saying he was gonna go get clothes and come back because I was in a lot of pain when I had Dominic. He never came back for 2 days, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, I had work. I still had to go to work. I didn't take the
That's a lie.
I didn't have
That's a lie.
That's a lie. I still had to pay bills.
But you say I'm gonna go home and get some clothes and you never come back? I mean, you don't tell a woman in a hospital, I've been in the hospital and just had a baby. I wish my husband would say he was about to leave somewhere and come right back and didn't come back for 2 days. We're gonna have us a problem.
Your Honor, I couldn't get a hold of him.
You don't come back for 2 days and you say you sent someone to pick her up because you had to work, but you worked graveyard, so where were you all day?
I did pick her up. I had other business to handle.
No.
So is the reason
what other business is there then your son?
We
then your
bills,
son.
Exactly.
A roof over your head.
So my question is, was there a part of you that got out of those hospital doors and start replaying over and over again, is this or is this not my son?
Yes, Your Honor, because there's always that simple fact that you want to bond with the child, because my first child with her, I had the time to bond with him.
And you should have been there to bond with him. You shouldn't have.
Well, I had to work. Who's gonna put a roof?
You didn't go to work. You didn't go to work. Tell the truth.
First of all, I'm a man. I take care of all 6 of her children. I put a roof over their head.
You didn't go to work. I had Dominic on a Friday. He did not work until Monday. I got out Monday morning. He did not go to work. I called his phone. I called his parents.
Yes, I did go to work. I had hours to prove for it.
At the first day, I was supposed to go home, and he had jaundice, and I had to stay there. And I called him, scared out of my mind, to help me with him, and he wouldn't come.
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
No,
my mother had got a hold of me, and I showed up.
The next day when I was getting released.
And I showed up. My mother had called me. Even my mother knew I was at work, working, taking care of business.
No, you were not at work. You came the next day when I was released. We were taking photos of Dominic in the phone. He didn't even want to get in the photo.
And I was there for the photos because
he
did not want to get in the photo.
You didn't want to take a picture with the brand new, beautiful baby that could be yours because you had that much doubt?
Yes, Your Honor.
And this doubt...
When someone's sleeping in your room, when it's not your kids, when she had the option of bringing our kids into the room and sending him with his kids in the other room, I mean, that would cause doubt.
Look,
and your stepfather calling you saying there's another man in your room, I mean, come on.
Our babysitter texted him and
how would she feel if we had
the babysitter told me that it was Mr. Gamboa specifically said it was okay for him to stay in the room.
I would never say that would be okay. How was she like in her footsteps if we had a female babysitter?
Ms. Gamboa, I don't believe that for a minute. I don't know any man that's gonna tell another man that it's okay for you to sleep in the room with my wife when I have, what, 4 other bedrooms?
Your Honor, I would not.
Two of them
Yes.
were occupied, and the kids were sleeping all in the other room.
But Mr. Gamboa, your husband has a good point. Even if
I know, I admit
just
that.
get
I
your
admit that.
children, bring them into your room, and then the babysitter and they can have the other room.
That's what
Honor, you know, I know.
And that's what I said. I
let's-
admit that. I made the big mistake of trusting our babysitter to know that he would
Your Honor,
not
I
lie
know
about
how-
it, and I made that mistake, and I'm living through it now,
Your
and
Honor,
my
you
son
know-
Dominic's living through it now.
Because
over
you
that.
feel like ultimately Dominic is suffering because
Yes.
he has no bond with his father, the man you believe to be his father.
Yes.
Your Honor, you know, I know.
I mean,
How
if you look
does
at the
he
video
treat
I
him
brought, If you
differently?
look at the video I brought, you can clearly see the damage is done to Dominic.
You submitted video to the court.
Yes, I did.
And if we
Your
had a
Honor.
female babysitter and she ended up pregnant,
I need you to
and she was
describe
sleeping in the
this
same room,
video
you would have the
for
same
me.
feeling.
Right here, this is Mr. Gamboa and Dominic on the video. Okay? Okay, that's your son. Go get him. Like, what the heck? You walked away. You turned your back on him.
I've never turned my back
You
on.
just
I've
turned your
taken
back.
care of him.
Now he's climbing. Okay, that's climbing. If it was our other son, he would automatically just grab him.
Mr. Gamboa, you're not
He's not like,
lending any type of assistance.
no concern.
It's hard.
whatsoever.
And that's a
Look
concrete
at-
part.
Grab him.
No.
Exactly.
So, Mr. Gamboa, you've admitted that you have not bonded truly with
Yes, Your Honor.
Dominic.
I have not bonded.
And when I'm looking at that picture as a parent, I mean, my instinct is to reach out because that's
Yes.
what parents do. Your child,
When your son's
And Your
running
Honor,
late, you
I've-
don't turn your back on him. You don't turn
Honor,
your
I
back.
mean, when
don't
they
you
get
think-
5 feet
it would
on you,
make
you're
me feel
going to
bad. I've
grab
taken
them.
care of
Right.
4 other children that aren't even mine, and I take
But
care
I
of all
don't
of
see
them.
4 other children in that video.
Exactly.
Right, but this is about Dominic, and you treat Dominic the same way you treat the other 4, as if he's not his. He financially
How is that?
there. Financially, he is there 100% there, supporting me, myself, my children, Dominic, and my other son. But when it comes to emotionally support, he is not there. He is not there.
So, Ms.
How-
Gamboa, you also submitted a second video.
Yes, Your Honor.
And please describe what this video shows.
This video right here is my everyday life, pretty much. I try to give him to Mr. Gamboa. He
And
doesn't
that's
want
how
to
I
go.
feel like he's not even my
He doesn't
son.
want
He
to go.
doesn't want to come near me.
He will not go.
Oh.
How do I know
he
she's
screams.
not spending
This
time-
is my everyday life. When it comes for him being tired or going to sleep, I put him to sleep. I cuddle him, I wrap him, I make sure he goes to sleep. He will not go to
Your Honor,
Mr.
if I
Gamboa.
was to find out Dominic wasn't mine, I'd be crushed. I want to grow a relationship with him, like.
Then you should have bonded with him from day
He
one.
is-
How can I bond with him if I have to work and take care of the family
Doesn't
and
matter. When you come home, you can bond with him.
I'm working 15-hour shifts.
That's an excuse. It's an excuse. Exactly.
So, Mr. Gamboa, what happens to this relationship if Dominic is not your biological son?
If he's not my biological son, I have to walk away from the marriage because I don't. I mean, that she was just lying to me the whole time with the babysitter sleeping in the room. Like, I mean, from my own stepfather calling me and telling me, and her believing. Why would you believe the babysitter?
That's he say, she say. You should believe your wife, or you should come
Well, how
to your
come you
wife
didn't?
and ask.
How
your
come
wife.
you didn't call your husband at work and say,
I
"Hey"?
did call you. I did call you. You didn't answer the phone.
And so, Ms. Gamboa,
I even left a message for him saying that he
if
was there.
I'm pretty sure I
Dominic
would answer if a man
is
was
not
sleeping
his
in my room with my
biological
wife.
son, do you want to make this marriage work?
I'm saying now, and I'm telling you right here, right now, if he comes out to be your son, you need to get help. You need to get counseling for your trust issues. We need to do marriage counseling, or you know what? I'm gone. I can't do this anymore. I cannot put my 2 sons with him in this. I cannot
I
put
mean,
my
it's
other
kind of
4
hard.
children in this.
I think that you
to-
need the same kind of counseling because when you bring
I just said that. I
2
said
men
we
into the
need
same
to do
house
marriage
with your own
counseling
kids.
together. If we do not agree on marriage counseling, then there is no marriage.
All right, well, I think it's time for the results. Jerome. Thank you. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. In the case of Gamboa v. Gamboa, pertaining to whether Raymond Gamboa is the father of 1-year-old Dominic Gamboa. It has been determined by this court that Mr. Gamboa, you are his father.
Thank you. Thank you. Bond with him. That's your baby. Bond with him. No more excuses. Bond with him.
Yes, I will. I will be his father.
So, Mr. Gamboa, your fears have been laid to rest. That is your son, beautiful, handsome son, and you've now missed out on 1 year of his life being emotionally and spiritually absent. I commend you that despite your doubts, you still stepped up to the plate and took care of your family. I agree with your wife, you all need some counseling. And that's why this court offers resources to families to help you get over these hurdles that doubt and bad decisions cause. Because ultimately, Ms. Gamboa, if we're being very honest, and you know I keep it real in this courtroom,
yes, Your Honor,
you don't have no business having no male babysitter in your room anywhere near your bed.
Yes, Your Honor.
There's nothing he got to use out of your room. I think you need to just focus on this and your beautiful children. Are we clear? Ms. Points, you say you made the biggest mistake of your life by saying 5 words. You are not the father to the defendant. You claim they were said only out of anger and not based in truth. You opened this case to prove to the defendant that he is your daughter Sharell's father so you can save your relationship with your daughter. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Rowan, you claim you initially believed you were Sharell's father, but your doubt was substantiated by the plaintiff's words. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Sharell Points, you claim your life has suffered significantly due to the lies your mother told you growing up. You want to rewrite your history and claim getting these results is the first step. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Points, why are these results so important to you?
Your Honor, because I'm here to regain a relationship with my daughter. I don't hear from her. She don't call. I don't see her. I haven't seen her over a couple months now, so it's heartbreaking.
And you admit you caused this drama by telling the defendant out of your own mouth that he was not the biological father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. It's all because, I was just upset with him at that time, just to get back at him. So I did say that, just those words, just to get back at
And
Mr.
you have
Marcellus.
regretted that now?
Yes, I do.
For years?
Yes, I have.
Because as we tell so many young women in this courtroom, once you ring that bell, you cannot unring it.
Yes. Yes, Your Honor. You're right.
All right, so Mr. Rowan?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're convinced you're not Sharell, Ms. Point's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
And why are you convinced?
Well, not only was it the fact of what she said, I wasn't the father, it's just I was there from day one since she was born, and they handed her to me, and right then I looked, because I got like multiple other kids, and all my kids, even by different women, they hair as slick as glass, and she came out with this curly hair, and I'm like, where did this come from? And I'm like, well, what's up with this? And she was like, well, they ain't all got to take after you, and I done heard of that before, so I was young and naive, so, I ran with it,
Take me to your relationship back in the day. What was it like? It was a high school?
Yeah, we was in high school together. We started going together, and we had like a little ritual, every day I get out of school, I would go home, and my mom, she'd be at work, and here come Miss Points every day. She'd come over, and Marcellus knock on the door, and I look out the window, and she, I'm like, all right.
Oh, was that a cat sound, and then you let the door in?
Throw the key down, and she come on up, and we do our little thing, and so it wasn't never no issue. I was happy when she got pregnant with my first daughter. That was my first kid and everything. And then with my son, I was happy to get him, because then that was my first boy, And then it was like years later till, Sharell came up.
So take me to the birth. You get pregnant, you tell Mr. Rowan, I'm pregnant. Next thing you know?
He said, No, it's not my child.
No, I didn't say that.
During the pregnancy or at the birth?
It was after the birth.
That's incorrect. I was at the hospital when she was born. I named her Sharell Sade.
So at the hospital, baby's born. At that point, you're accepting.
Right.
Did you sign the birth certificate?
Well, Your Honor,
Yes.
birth certificates and me don't get along. She's saying I did, but
Yeah, you did.
no, I don't do birth certificates because that's like incriminating myself. I'm not like, I'm not the biggest fan of child support. If a kid's mine, I'll step up to the plate and do what I got to do, but I just don't like being required to do everything, have this much money every month.
Well, that's a lesson for us all, Mr. Rowan, on child support. No, but I'm gonna be honest with you, you're not the only man that feels that way. So your name is not on the birth certificate?
No,
all right.
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
Don't do them.
So is it true that he didn't sign it, or did he sign it?
He signed it.
You say he signed it?
Yes, he did.
Did you bring a copy of it with you?
No, I did not, but yes, he signed it.
Okay, Jerome. Yes. Please go out and ask a member of the staff if they can locate the birth certificate for Miss Points.
Okay.
See if they can research that and find it for me.
You got it.
Thank you. So you say he signed the birth certificate.
Yes,
But
Your Honor.
whether it was signed or not, we'll get back to that later. At the end of the day, you all left the hospital pretty much together with a new baby.
Yes, we did.
And at what point did you feel like this is not my child and started to deny her?
I never denied her. 2 years into it, she told me that somebody else was the father, and I wasn't even trying to hear that. I'm like, I done been daddy for 2 years. Then I'm like, she's going on my income taxes. I know that. So that wasn't no problem, you dig? So,
So in other words, that's my child.
Yeah.
Don't try to tell me now this is not my child, it's my child.
yeah, especially around income tax time.
See, all because of that.
Nah.
All because of money.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Miss Points, you did it out of anger.
Yes, I did. You're right.
You told him you were not the father. Why?
I'm just frustrated about a whole lot of things that was going on with him, doing what he was doing out here, so.
And so you just decided, I'm gonna say these words to hurt him.
Yes, I knew that's the most important thing to him, and I knew I was gonna get to him.
Never understanding how you would hurt your daughter.
You're right. I never was understanding that. But I know right today, I know it's hurting her. So I made
Sharell,
mistakes then.
Have you ever heard your parents arguing to the point where your paternity was in question?
Yes, Your Honor. Marcellus told her that my hair was nappy and he wanted to know if I was his daughter or not. She kept on saying it's a possibility that Marcellus was my daddy.
Just a possibility that he was your dad.
Yes,
and so
Your
this
Honor.
was all about your hair.
Yes, Your Honor.
So we didn't understand that as Black people, we have all different types of hair, and that just the way it is. How old were you?
I was 5 years old, so I was confused, angry, mad at my mom because my brother and my sister have a father, and I have other kids too, and I want my kids to have a granddaddy, so I was angry and stuff at my mama.
So then once that bell was rung in your mind, did you confront your mother? Did you begin to ask questions?
Yes, Your Honor. When I was 16, I finally was just like, I wanted to know. And we were sitting on my granny's porch, and she just looked at me, and she was like, I look like that other guy. And then I looked at her and was like, huh? And she was like, yeah. But she never said nothing else when I asked her.
So she just blurted it out?
Yes.
You look like that other guy?
Or when she get mad at me, she'd tell me I look like that other guy.
Really? Is that what you're saying, Miss Point? You saying a lot when you get mad.
Yes, I do. I do. I tend to say the wrong things. Yes.
And so you said that to your daughter. You look like that other guy.
Yes, I did. You're right.
So there was another guy.
Yes, it was.
So what was your relationship with that man?
We didn't really have a relationship. We went out a couple times and stuff. So,
During the time when you were with Mr. Rowan?
Yes, Your Honor.
And so clearly you were intimate with this man as well.
Yes, Your Honor. But I was more intimate with Mr. Marcellus Rowan than the other guy.
Right, but we know that it just takes once.
I know, you're right.
Did you ever tell this man, I'm pregnant, and tell him that he could potentially be Sharell's biological father?
Yeah, I told him to. Yes, I.
You did?
Yes, I did.
But he wasn't allowed to come to the hospital because Mr. Rowan was there?
Yes, Your Honor, that's what that was. I was doing a whole lot then.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's hard. She just does the most, man. Really.
So your mom has testified that Mr. Rowan signed your birth certificate. Mr. Rowan testifies that he don't do birth certificates. I just got a note on my computer that the office has located Ms. Point's birth certificate. Jerome, can you see if you can go retrieve that, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
There you go, Judge.
Thank you, Jerome.
You're welcome.
Mr. Rowan,
Yeah, ma'am.
you are not on Sharell's birth certificate.
I know I didn't sign it. I don't do birth certificates.
But another man's name is.
Well, that's
Miss Point.
makes me want to just clench my pearls now, cause I don't see how that could be. I mean, how was he even at the hospital when I was there named? I guess she had like a revolving door going or something.
Miss Points,
Yes, Your Honor.
you testified that Mr. Rowan's name was on the birth certificate. So now you've lied to Mr. Rowan, you've lied to your daughter, and you sat up in this court and lied to me. His name is not on that birth certificate. Do you know whose name is on there?
Yes, Your Honor.
You know who signed it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is this the other man that you would get mad and tell your daughter she looked like?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you've known all these years, for 29 years, that this other man's name was on her birth certificate?
Yes, I did.
So when Mr. Rowan left, the other man came up to the
Yes,
hospital
Your Honor.
and then signed the birth certificate.
Yes, Your Honor.
So did he believe he was the father? Why did he sign the birth certificate? He believed he was the father?
Yes, he did.
And Mr. Rowan's been taking care of Sharell.
Yes, Your Honor.
Come on, let the truth
Yes,
come out
yes,
now.
Your
We
Honor.
here, we here now, we here. At the time he signed the birth certificate, did you really have a question as to whether or not Mr. Rowan was the father or this other man, or did you know this other man was the father?
I knew the other man was the father. I just didn't want it to be.
Now you're being honest.
Yes, I am.
Sharell, I know hearing this testimony is difficult, but how does it make you feel to hear your mother finally tell the truth?
Out of 29 years, like I'm sad.
I know it makes you sad, honey.
Cause she been lying this whole time.
Don't cry, boo-boo. It's all right. It takes more to be a dad than just donating sperm. Like I said, you gotta be there.
It hurts you to know your mother has known who your father is all your life, but has not told you just the truth.
I wanted the truth. But now that she told the truth, we can all start over.
But since we're here and we're telling the truth is that during the window of conception, one of the reasons why you believed yourself to be a possibility, Mr. Rowan, is because, in fact, you could be a possibility based upon her testimony. That she was basically having sex with this other man and you at the very same time. So although she truly believes this other man is Sharell's father, the DNA has not spoken yet. Before I go to these results, Ms. Points, I ask you this respectfully. Were there any other possibilities?
No, Your Honor.
That's what they all say.
Your Honor, I love my daughter. I just want us to be in this relationship and just find out the truth.
And I have that truth for you.
Okay.
Jerome, may I have the envelope? These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Points versus Rowan, when it comes to 29-year-old Sharell Points, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Rowan, you are not the father.
No.
You are not the father. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. He been in my
Well,
life
that's
this
on
whole time.
paper. Like I say, ain't nothing gonna change. Come here, baby. Come here. Come over here. Can she come be step
Yes,
with
you
her
can.
daddy?
You want to
Come on.
stand with your daddy? Oh,
It's all good, and you going home too. We gonna be a family.
Yeah,
True
we're gonna be
family.
Love you.
Yeah, step over and be by your daughter. All right?
well, this was an unlikely, beautiful surprise. So do you feel satisfied, Sharell, now that you know at least that Mr. Rowan is not your biological father?
Yes, Your Honor, I do. I'm
And-
still sad, but yes, Your Honor.
You're still sad. Ms. Points, is there anything you'd like to say to your daughter right now?
I wish I can go back in time and stuff. I know I can't bring that back. But I know I can't make up for all that. But I love you. And I'm gonna be here. Like I
I
always.
love you too, Mommy.
Okay.
That's the start.